One summer moment can change a child's life. Through Toys for Tots Give and Go initiative, your support provides books, games, toys, and outdoor adventures that spark curiosity, creativity, and a love of nature. Whether it's fishing, learning a new sport, reading under a tree, or playing with friends, these moments build confidence and lifelong memories. For too many children, those moments never come. You can help change that this summer. Visit toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots, delivering hope beyond the holidays.
WABC New York, WRCR Haverstraw, and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays.
It's the 77 WABC News Hour.
Talking the news with Noah Layden.
All the news you need to know with Joe Nolan, traffic, Justin Ellick, sports. And now,
Talking the news with Noah
on 77 WABC.
Yes, that's me. Good morning. It is Monday, July 6th. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Heavy rain today. Pop-up thunderstorms possible. Flooding as well. The high 72. Tonight and overnight showers, low 65. And then Tuesday, the storm moves out, but a cloudy day, high 75. If you are walking out the door with us right now, 69 and cloudy and ice-lip out on Long Island. It's 68 and raining in Montville over in New Jersey. And it's 70 and raining right outside our Midtown studios.
This is the Top 5 at 5.
Flooding fears all day today. Lots of your neighbors have been powerless for days. Is FIFA rooting for Team USA to win tonight? Some think so. A seaplane makes a hard landing in the East River, and the sharks are back and biting. Isn't that fun? All right, let's get into it at 5:04. A flood watch is in effect for the entire tri-state area through tonight as these repeated downpours. Now, right now here in Midtown, it's not as bad as it was when I walked in this morning. It was coming down hard. And the thought is that some places will see rain rates of up to 2 inches today over the next 24 hours, while severe weather is not expected. So you won't see like intense lightning or storms. I mean, you'll see some pop-up storms. The flooding is really going to be the issue if we get as much rain as predicted. Now, the storm could shift a little bit in the coming hours. Let's hope it does. Last night, Mayor Mamdani sending out a warning to New Yorkers.
The highest chance of flash flooding is going to occur during morning's commute. We are asking every New Yorker to stay safe. And so if you are able, we ask that you do not travel during this period of the most intense weather that we are expecting.
So emergency management warning last night to prepare for heavy rain. If you can work from home, today might be the day to do it because you're going to see some ponding and flooding in places that you normally do. And then some places you may not normally. The MTA urging commuters to take caution this morning, plan for extra travel time because when we get this heavy rain, sometimes you get subway stations that flood out.
The city is already out clearing catch basins, preparing neighborhoods that are historically flood prone, and responding across the 5 boroughs. We ask New Yorkers in this time to stay safe, stay prepared, and to keep an eye out for one another. If you live in a basement apartment, start to plan. If you see water rising around you, move to higher ground. If you are in any kind of danger, call 911.
Yeah, and it comes after just well, what a horrible weather weekend it was. I mean, on Thursday, Friday, leading into the weekend, into Saturday, I mean, it was just unbearable outside. And now we've got the heavy rain pours that'll make it more bearable. I mean, it's nice outside. It's not terrible, a little humid, but the temp's not as hot. But here comes the rain. And in Suffolk County, the Suffolk County Executive, Ed Romaine, declaring a state of emergency there through Tuesday. That is, they're dealing with outages and damage from those heavy storms, those wild storms that came through on Saturday night.
It got pitch black, heavy winds, wicked lightning.
I knew that we had to pack it up and bring everybody inside. The wind was crazy.
Because there was like a whole bunch of wind coming around and we were outside.
Yeah, so Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman declaring a state of emergency there through Tuesday night due to the likelihood of flooding there. And then Saturday storms, everybody's still recovering from that. If you go out to Paramus in New Jersey, the mayor there says the people who've lost power, and there's a lot of them in Paramus, may not get it back till midweek, and they lost it Saturday night.
It took all of 3 minutes to do all of this damage. Going through Sandy, and at that time we lived in a flood zone, so we know how important power security is.
Yeah, so leaders in Paramus, of course, urging neighbors to stay away from live wires. That's always a good idea.
I saw things spinning around like you see in a movie.
So I just assume it was a twister.
I've been through hurricanes here and whatnot, but this was the most intense. It looked like straight line wind.
Okay, so we're looking at the numbers this morning. At least 66,000 across the Garden State waiting for the power to come back on this morning from Saturday night's storm. 5,000 across Westchester still in the dark this morning.
We just heard one big gust. My wife jumped a little bit. The cats all jumped up. And then we heard something crack in the back, which might have been the neighbor's tree that fell on the garage. And then all of a sudden power went out, and we've been out ever since.
Couldn't come to our house. We had to park way down the road and walk here in the dark, and it didn't fall on the house. So that was my main thing, and no one was hurt. So I was thinking about how much money it's going to cost me, but hopefully not too bad.
Yeah, so those were people in Westchester yesterday. 6,000, by the way, have no power across Long Island this morning. WABC News Time 5:09. You know, the heat wave, it's almost forgotten now with all the rain, but it was really deadly in New Jersey. Nearly 24 suspected heat-related deaths over the last 7 days.
Governor Mikey Sherrill and the Garden State's health commissioner said the heat wave has claimed at least 22 lives in the state dating back to Thursday. Officials say the deaths came from 10 different counties, mainly in the northern and central parts of the state. Many of those victims found in homes without air conditioning. A Department of Health official says the victims ranged in age between their mid-30s and their 80s. A state medical examiner will officially determine the cause of death for each victim over the coming days.
WABC News Time 5:10. Let's go out to Brooklyn. 8 people, including 4 kids, were shot as they enjoyed a 4th of July night out to watch some fireworks in Brooklyn on Saturday night. They still don't know who's behind this shooting. They rushed to the scene, the cops did, to help these young victims to safety. A manhunt underway. NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch giving an update yesterday on the shooting that took place in Coney Island.
When officers arrived, they found multiple victims suffering from gunshot wounds in the front courtyard of 2930 West 30th Street.
Now, Tisch says the preliminary investigation indicates a man who was wearing all black fired multiple rounds into a courtyard where a family was having a barbecue. Now, I will point out, this is the exact spot, you might remember from last week, where a gang member was shot and killed. So maybe this was retaliation fire. The victims include 4 adults, 4 children. The children, 3 adults expected to survive. A 21-year-old woman, though, who was shot. She remains in critical condition this morning. Police say they did recover a firearm from the scene, but so far no sign of the gunman.
7 of the victims are currently listed as not likely to die. 1 victim, a 21-year-old woman, was shot in the chest and is listed in critical condition.
Mayor Mamdani reacting to this mass shooting as well.
There is no place for this kind of violence in our city. We will not tolerate it, and we will fight it with every single tool at our disposal.
Yeah, it was just an incredibly violent weekend. An NYPD detective was shot in the back. That was Sunday morning in a wild shootout which happened Nostrand Avenue, St. John's Places in Crown Heights about 4:45 yesterday morning. 2 officers with a sex offender monitoring unit were in an unmarked police car when this teenager allegedly approached them with this semi-automatic pistol. Well, the officer, Robert Carroll, as we now know, was shot in the back while thankfully wearing a ballistic vest. He has minor injuries. He confronted this teenager.
His ballistic vest performed exactly as it was designed, and today that vest saved his life.
That's Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch. Carroll was taken to a local hospital for treatment, expected to make a full recovery. An 18-year-old gunman, the alleged gunman, I should point out, has been arrested, and the gun again has been recovered. WABC News Time 5:12. President Trump playing the Trump card. President Trump asked FIFA's president to review the red card suspension of the U.S. men's team's breakout star before the organization shockingly announced yesterday he could play in tonight's do-or-die game against Belgium. Trump reached out to the FIFA president directly to ask him to take a second look at the U.S. star Folarin Balogun's suspension that came as a result of a controversial red card in the national team's win against Bosnia and Herzegovina last week. So he got this red card, And the way that normally works in FIFA, if you get a red card, it is a serious violation. And not only do you get kicked out of that game, but you're suspended in the following game. So here was Balogun after the game being told that he wouldn't be able to play in the game against Belgium tonight, which has now been reversed. He's going to get to play.
I'm going to be there in any way I can to help the team. The most important thing is just making sure the guys are equipped to go out there and shine. And, I want to be somebody they can, come to if they need advice or if they need help. And, I'm gonna definitely, show my support to the fullest.
Yeah, so the attorneys talked about bringing in the Global Court of Arbitration for Sport. The White House worked on this thing to find some sort of legal resolution, find some sort of crinkle in this law that would make it so Balogun shouldn't be able to play in the game tonight. And it worked out. FIFA rolled back the suspension yesterday, and Balogun will get to play in the World Cup 16 match tonight against Belgium. So apparently FIFA has only done this once before, and you have to go back to 1962 was the last time they overruled a red card ruling. So an amazing job done by the White House. Of course, some people who are watching these soccer matches, especially from other countries, including Belgium, don't like this at all. And they're trying to appeal to FIFA to reverse it back to the way it was. Doubtful that'll happen. That game tonight at 8 o'clock. And while we're talking sports, let's head over to the 77 WABC Sports Desk. How about this FIFA red card ruling? Were you surprised by it, Justin Ellick?
Yeah, I was surprised by it. I can't remember a time where I've ever seen anything like this. In a international tournament, a country's government getting involved in something like that and reversing a red card or suspending it or whatever you will. I mean, what does that even mean, suspending it? So in a year from now, he'll serve that game suspension?
Well, so that's what they appealed for, was that they would say, okay, his one-game suspension will be next year when I guess there's some sort of FIFA tournament of some sort. He won't get to play
not a World Cup.
Yeah, it won't be a World Cup.
Right, not a round of 16 match in the World Cup, no.
So you sound a little outraged by it.
Well, I'm not outraged by it at all. I want
to
see the guy play, obviously. I don't think he should have been suspended in the first place. But I think once you make the call, you make the call. That's the call on the field. I mean, once the game's over, the call's on the field, they got to stand, I would imagine.
I would think, as you undermine the people who are calling the game, the refs.
Yeah, I mean, you always see, in professional sports, teams appealing certain things after the fact, after the game, but none of which usually can impact, outcomes of future games, past games, whatever it might be. But, I mean, we'll see if it makes a difference tonight. Obviously, Balogun is our leading scorer. So
he's been the star, yeah.
Yeah, it should make a difference. And, yeah, of course, if you're Belgium, you're not going to be very happy with this decision.
Now, I will point out, when they had one of what they call their friendlies before the tournament, where these teams play each other, Belgium whipped the American team 5-2. It wasn't even close.
Right, but a lot of people are saying this is a different Belgium team. They're not playing as well in this tournament, maybe. And Team USA, of course, looks strong. So we'll see. I mean, obviously you want to see best on best. That's another rule of thumb here, or another thought. So, you want to see the best on the U.S. go up against the best on Belgium, and that's what this is tonight.
If I had and I haven't followed it that closely, if I had a red card from another World Cup team and I was about to be suspended, I would go, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah. 100%. No, I mean, you got every right if you're the U.S. to question it. You got every right now if you're Belgium to go out and try and appeal this reversal.
Yeah.
I don't
think it's going to change anything before 8 o'clock tonight.
I don't think it will. I think you're going to see Balogun out there. And
is it Balogun? I don't have
I go with Balogun.
Okay,
I mean, that's what I'm hearing the commentators yell and scream through the television.
You know better than I do.
So. I'm going with them. How about that? But yesterday we did see some really good action in the World Cup. Norway beating Brazil 2-1 and England beating Mexico 3-2. Two great games. So Norway will meet England in the quarterfinals from Miami come Saturday night. And other than that United States-Belgium game tonight at 8 p.m., that'll be from Seattle, Washington. The winner of that match will meet the winner of this afternoon's match between Portugal and Spain. That's 3 p.m. coming to you from Arlington, Texas. Head to the diamond here quickly as well. Out in Atlanta, Juan Soto's a 2-run single and a 4-run second inning helped the Mets edge the Braves 10-9, surviving a late rally in a rain-delayed game there. Freddie Peralta starts tonight's finale at 7:15 as New York seeks a series split. Juan Soto was named a National League All-Star as well on Saturday. yesterday, a starter for Soto. And in the Bronx, Yankees fell 6-1 to the Twins, losing the series 2-1 there. Cam Schlittler starts tonight's series opener at Tampa. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. Yanks are now 4 games back of Tampa for first place in the AL East. Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, Cam Schlittler, and Ben Royce were named American League All-Stars on Saturday. That is your Sports Know-Em, and I'm Justin Ellick on 77 WABC.
WABC News Time 5:20. Russia has attacked the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv again, killing at least 9 overnight. Some of the sounds there last night. Rescuers have been pulling survivors from damaged apartment buildings. 31 were killed in Thursday's attack on Kyiv. The war in Ukraine will be the top on the agenda at the NATO meeting in Turkey tomorrow. President Trump has agreed to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky while at the summit. Huge crowds mourning again today Iran's supreme leader. More on that from Lisa Carton.
Tens of thousands flooded the streets of Tehran on Sunday, wailing and chanting, with some calling for revenge. Even larger crowds are expected Monday when Ayatollah Khamenei's casket will be taken on a procession through the streets of the capital city. Iran is holding a 6-day state funeral ahead of his burial on July 9th. The ceremonies are being held nearly 4 months after he was killed in U.S.-Israeli airstrikes. Meantime, peace talks between the U.S. and Iran are set to resume after the funeral. I'm Lisa Carton.
And Israeli forces have launched airstrikes in southern Lebanon again today, despite signing a U.S. brokered agreement with Lebanon last month to end those hostilities. The Israeli army also launching drone attacks on Gaza, killing at least 2 there today. 5:21, let's bring it back home, out to Colorado. The Aspen Acres fire in Colorado, that's southwest of Pueblo, has grown to 85,000 acres. There's no containment.
We're anticipating that's going to break away, and we're going to have lower RHs, but not as low as what we've had, so it's not going to be as dry as it was out there. And the winds aren't going to be as strong.
Yeah, they're talking about the weather, hoping that'll help them out.
Biggest concern, though, is there's a chance for some thunderstorms. They're probably going to be dry, and our biggest concern with that is both dry lightning and which could create new starts. But the other thing is sometimes those thunderstorms will collapse, and then we get outflow winds.
Yeah, so there's been 11,000 evacuations. 200 homes have burned. 5:22, there was a deadly lightning strike at the beach this weekend in Fort Myers, Florida. 4 people were hit. 1 was killed.
Civilians on scene were doing CPR and had a defibrillator available and attempted to use that on the patient.
Yeah, 1 person was pronounced dead at the scene. The other 3 taken to the hospital, expected to be okay.
Unfortunately, one of the patients was deemed deceased on scene.
First responders say it's just another reminder to take cover when you hear thunder. 5:22, Charlie Kirk's widow set to attend her first Utah court hearing in the trial of the man accused of killing her husband. Erica Kirk will reportedly be joined by Charlie Kirk's parents for the week-long preliminary hearing where prosecutors will lay out their case against the alleged gunman, Tyler Robinson. The hearing begins later this morning. Robinson's accused of fatally shooting Kirk at Utah Valley University last September. He faces aggravated murder charges and a possible death penalty. An investigation's underway after man was shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee by 2 members of the National Guard. Jefferson Mitten says the man was known in the community.
This is absolutely insane. You know, I just see him walking around, maybe hanging out, but I've never seen anyone antagonize them or anything. You know, this is way more escalation than I thought that would ever be needed from them.
The bullets flew. This was early Sunday morning in the downtown area. Authorities say local police officers were in pursuit of an armed man when National Guard soldiers assigned to the Memphis Safe Task Force joined the chase. They say the 20-year-old Tyron Johnson opened fire with a handgun and was fatally shot. In response, there were no other injuries reported. 5:24, the Trump accounts, a new federal savings and investment account for children, are officially live this morning.
The Treasury Department said over 6 million Trump accounts have been opened for children under age 18. Of those, over 1 million will receive the $1,000 federal pilot contribution for newborns. Only children who are U.S. citizens and have a valid Social Security number may open a Trump account, and no child may have more than one. To qualify for the one-time federal pilot contribution, the child must be born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028. state. I'm Rob Martier.
525, Senator Mitch McConnell's condition apparently improving since being rushed to the hospital last month after suffering a health scare. We only found out about this at the end of last week. His spokesman says Senator McConnell appreciates the outpouring of support he's receiving while he continues his recovery in the hospital. He's 84 years old, was found unconscious at his D.C. residence on June 14th, may have suffered a heart attack. The Kentucky governor, Andy Beshear, says he was kept in dark about all of what was going on.
Now, we have received no information, no updates. If there's been any direct outreach, I'm unaware of it. I don't want to speculate about anybody's health. The only things that I know, I've read, and I can't verify.
McConnell, who is retiring from the Senate at the end of this year, has not returned to the Senate since this latest health incident. The president of the NCAA pushing back against prop betting at the collegiate level. During an interview with CBS's Face the Nation yesterday, Charlie Baker says the practice of sports betting has changed the character and culture of fandom.
I heard about it a lot from student athletes who said the noise and the, abuse that they were taking from bettors around prop bets was really disturbing.
Now, prop betting involves gambling on a player or an event that's not necessarily tied to the game's final score. Baker, who served as the governor of Massachusetts from 2015 until 2023, says student athletes likely have people in their circle asking them to rig their performances for the sake of making a profit.
I think we're starting to win this discussion and this debate with the public, and I'm anxious to have a lot of the folks who are part of our community get deeply involved and organized.
Yeah, Baker calling it incredibly demoralizing for student athletes, saying that he believes they're starting to win this discussion in this debate with the public, hoping that they'll pull back on some of this legalized betting. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum reiterating President Trump's claim that the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pole was vandalized. He was on CNN State of the Union yesterday. Burgum claimed there's evidence that supports their claim.
There was vandalism. There was box cutters. There have been 7 arrests. There was people literally trying to destroy part of a monument.
The repairs, the alleged vandalism, has drawn the ire of the president, who is behind the estimated $16 million renovation project of the pool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Ken. And as we drain it, and we've got all the photographs, we can see.
Yeah, so the president had said some of the water in the pool will be drained to conduct repairs and see exactly what took place.
It's the 77 WABC News Hour. Talking the news with Noam Laden. All the news you need to know with Joe Nolan, traffic, Justin Ellick, sports. And now, Talking the News with Noam on 77 WABC.
Yes, that's me. Good morning. It is Monday, July 6th. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Heavy rain, pop-up thunderstorms possible, flooding possible as well. The high 72. Tonight and overnight, showers, low 65, and then Tuesday, just clouds, high 75. If you are walking out the door with us right now, so happy you are, it's 69 and cloudy in Islip out on Long Island. It's 68 and raining in Montville over in New Jersey, and it's 70 and raining right outside our Midtown studios. 5:43, a seaplane making a hard landing yesterday afternoon in the East River. This happened right near the Skyport, right there at East 23rd Street and FDR Drive. It was about noon, so a lot of people saw this plane land. They didn't realize that the people on board, minor injuries were hurt.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. The plane down on the water. We got 2 boats approaching. Looks like the pilot is okay. I can't tell if there's any more passengers.
Yeah, those were some of the people reporting it yesterday. 8 passengers were removed from this plane by FDNY units that got there incredibly fast. The plane itself was towed back to a dock. Now, we're being told 2 of the passengers were treated for minor injuries. It was a teenager who was on the plane who was rolling video, as they always are, right after the plane crashed, and the pilot told them that they should probably put on their life jackets.
Yeah, we're okay. On tune. Go. Oh my God! Oh my God! You never to put your PFDs on. Okay? Where are they?
Where are they?
Yeah, one passenger, a 75-year-old, told Eyewitness News that she's in shock and some pain, but she's just happy to be alive. She said the pilot seemed to do a good job landing. Apparently, he was coming back from East Hampton when this accident took place yesterday. Weather conditions apparently were not ideal yesterday. The NTSB now investigating the hard landing to determine why the seaplane was not able to make a smooth touchdown. 5:44. A swimmer was bitten by a shark at Jones Beach this weekend. The man bitten in the left foot. This was right near Jones Beach State Park, Field 6. It happened on a busy, warm day. There was like 100,000 people at the beach because it was so warm this weekend. They were there to watch the air show that takes place every year on July 4th. Here was somebody who saw this swimmer right after he was bitten.
And he's like holding his foot, and then people came and like got him. But yeah, and then they were like, everyone get out, and they kind of cleared everything. I was like kind of close to the guy, and then I just see him like getting up, and then he went to the post and was talking to the lifeguard, and it didn't really like seem like anything happened.
That victim, though, taken to Nassau University Medical Center. He's fine. The wound was described as deep. A shark tooth-like shape on the bottom of his foot. Lifeguards, emergency medical technicians, they all responded immediately.
Everybody came out of the water, and then they were just working on him by the lifeguard chair over there. They told everyone to get out of the water, so the kids were looking.
Yes, swimming was suspended while officials searched the beachfront for sharks or any other dangerous marine life. After about an hour or so, they told people they could go back in the water, but only waist deep. That would be my exit. I would go find a swimming pool, but people did go back in the water.
But once I realized it wasn't like a shell that would cut the guy, it was something else, I was like, oh my God, it could have happened to anybody.
Now, it comes after a shark was spotted on Friday. This was about 10:30 in the morning at Rockaway Beach in Queens. Swimming was suspended for an hour or so there. The Parks Department used drones and said at least 3 sharks were spotted at Rockaway Beach on both Thursday and Friday. In a moment, we'll head up to the Bronx in a weird subway accident. We'll get into that in just a moment. But first, 5:46, let's head over to the 77 WABC Sports Desk. And here's Justin Ella.
Thank you, Noam Layden. Sports sponsored by Pete Morgan and Peerless Spoilers. Go to peerlessspoilers.com to find a deal under you. Peerless Spoilers, the world's best built boilers. Head to the pitch. Yeah, World Cup action yesterday. Norway beating Brazil early on. That was a 4 p.m. start yesterday afternoon here Eastern time. 2-1 was your final there. So Norway will meet England, who later on last night beat Mexico 3-2 out in Mexico City. Norway and England will meet in the quarterfinals from Miami come Saturday night. And looking ahead to this afternoon and tonight, 3 p.m. from Arlington, Texas. It'll be Portugal and Spain, round of 16. Their winner of that match will meet the winner of the United States and Belgium tonight at 8 p.m. from Seattle, Washington. And yes, indeed, you will see Flo Balogun for Team USA tonight after President Trump intervenes and has FIFA reverse that red card suspension. So you'll see our leading scorer in this year's World Cup, Flo Balogun, front and center tonight against Belgium. Best on best. Winners will meet each other. Of course, the winners of Portugal, Spain, United States, Belgium tonight and this afternoon. We'll meet each other in the quarterfinals come Friday night from SoFi Stadium in California.
What's the line on this? So are we supposed to win this thing? Do you know?
We're underdogs.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, I think we're like plus 118. I think is what I saw, plus 125, something like that.
So even with Flo's reversal, that might not be enough to help us.
No, I mean, listen, like you said, in this friendly match we played against them before the World Cup, they beat us 5-2.
That's a lot of goals.
That's That's a 3-goal difference.
Yeah,
it's a lot in soccer.
Yeah, that's 5 goals in one game.
Yeah, you pretty much got lambasted, if you will, for lack of a better term, in a 5-2 loss. So we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight. But obviously, good to see Flo Balogun out there. Out in Atlanta on the diamond, Juan Soto's 2-run single and a 4-run second inning helped the Mets edge the Braves 10-9, surviving a late rally in a rain-delayed game there. Up next for the Mets, tonight's finale, 7:15, as New York seeks a series split. Juan Soto was named a National League All-Star as well, his starter for the National League on Saturday. In the Bronx, Yankees fell 6-1 to the Twins losing the series 2-1. New York's 9th loss in 10 games are now 4 games back of Tampa Bay for first place in the AL East, and they will meet the aforementioned Rays coming up in Tampa, the opener of a 4-game set starting tonight. Cam Schlittler will get the start there. First pitch is 6:40. As for the Yankees, Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, Cam Schlittler, and Ben Rice were named American League All-Stars on Saturday. That is your sports, sponsored by Pete Morgan of Peerless Boilers. Go to peerlessboilers.com to find a deal near you. Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers. I'm Justin Ellick on 77 WABC.
5:51. Let's head up to the Bronx. Commuters, subway riders, strap hangers, as they sometimes are called, talking about this wild moment that happened Saturday night on a 4 train. So they're heading home and they're approaching the 161st Street station when all of a sudden the train just suddenly stops. And what they've realized is the people in the front car realize that the front of the train has run into a tree that has fallen onto the tracks. It has broken the operator's cab window. It shattered a front window. Here was a rider who said the whole thing was crazy and frightening.
It's definitely a freak accident, like a Final Destination moment. Next thing I know, it was this sound. We just said, doosh. We heard the glass and we see the glass shattering.
Now, EMS responded. They treated that train operator who had minor injuries. The MTA says none of the other 200 people who were aboard this subway were hurt.
When I tell you what she came out with just a bloody nose, was just absolutely mind-boggling.
Yes, so this woman, that woman you're hearing who was on the train, she said this train operator, she said she was incredible. I mean, she had been hurt, but she walked out into the train car and wanted to make sure everybody else was okay on the train.
I want to give her the biggest thank you for how she handled it, for the safety, making sure we was okay, even though she was in shock.
And we've been told that train operator is going to be just fine. That's the good news. 5:52. There are more cases of Legionnaire's disease on Manhattan's Upper East Side. The city's health department now puts that number at 14, added the 10075 zip code to the cluster zone. Mayor Mamdani says the infections are not related to any building's plumbing or air conditioning. He says it's safe to drink, bathe, and cook with tap water. The health department's testing water from cooling towers throughout the affected area. Officials say past outbreaks have been linked to Legionella bacteria spreading through mist released by contaminated cooling towers. So building owners whose systems test positive will be required to conduct remediation. Neighbors, of course, are worried. They want more information. They say, wait, what's going on here? Another outbreak?
My body is hurting really bad. Just the other day, I thought I was having a heart attack, so I'm scared.
Yeah, Health Commissioner Dr. Alistair Martin urging anybody who lives or works or has visited the area since late June to seek medical attention if they develop symptoms, including fever, cough, difficulty breathing, or other flu-like illnesses. Now, this extends, by the way, to people who visited Central Park. Okay, that's a big amount of people. So this health alert has been sent now. Doctors are looking for this Legionella bacteria.
I just want to see them, just handle this in a great deal of urgency.
Everybody should be tested if they have a cold or if they think they have it.
Yeah, so 14 people connected to Legionella. Now, the good thing is people become infected by inhaling the contaminated water vapor, not through person-to-person contact. But the disease can be treated with antibiotics when it's caught early. So that's the big part of it. If you're not feeling good, and especially if you live in the infected area, you should definitely go over to your doctor and make sure you're okay. And while we're talking about frightening things, the first positive West Nile mosquito test of the season confirmed now in Rockland County. Sample collected in the town of Haverstraw the week of June 22nd. 66 mosquito pools have been submitted to testing so far. Now, the good news is there's no human cases, but they say it's just a matter of time. Here's a doctor who works on West Nile cases and knows what to look for.
Those who have high risk are those with age above 60, 65 years old, or those who have a weakened immune system. And symptoms usually are high fevers, very high high fevers, headaches, and it can present with meningitis or encephalitis or swelling of the brain.
Yeah, okay. So we go from that to West Nile virus. Rockland health officials say it's especially important to be proactive ahead of outdoor gatherings. Get rid of pooled water so those mosquitoes don't come around. Let's end with a little bit of a happier story. It's just been one bad one after another. You might have seen this over the weekend at the Brooklyn Public Library, the Marcy branch. There were music fans lined up there, and you might have been like, why are people waiting outside the library? Well, they were waiting to get their hands on a limited edition Jay-Z library card released to mark the 30th anniversary of the rapper's debut album, Reasonable Doubt. It's hard to believe that's 30 years ago. The card is available at all Brooklyn public libraries while supplies last.
Even before the library opened, we had people waiting in line to come in. So this is something that is really resonating.
Now, that's Fritzy Bodenheimer from the Brooklyn Public Library. I went on a date with her when I was 18 years old. Just one date because she had enough of me, apparently, after that. People online, they're very excited to get this library card.
He makes us believe in dreams.
He's a father. He's a husband. He's the all-American man.
The Brooklyn-born artist, whose real name, of course, is Sean Carter. He grew up nearby in the Marcy houses, remains a source of pride for many in this area. That's why they were lining up to get their hands on this special edition library card.
I go to all his shows. I love his wife. I love him. I have a tattoo of his Blueprint 3. The Roman numeral 4 is significant for them. They have this on their marriage fingers, and I put it on my ankle.
Inspiration to artists to keep going in Brooklyn, and it's created a strong music culture.
Yeah, library officials encouraging Jay-Z fans to act quickly because there's only a limited amount of these library cards.
Thanks for listening to the News Hour with Noam Laden. You can hear the News Hour with Noam Laden weekday mornings at 5 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode, so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?